The shocking death of former Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha continues to reverberate across the country and the world. The Nairobi Hospital, the facility that he was taken to after collapsing at home, says that attempts to resuscitate him were unsuccessful. Professor Walter Mwanda, a personal friend to Professor Magoha, narrated the events leading up to his death, saying that Magoha collapsed 4 times. Chemutai Goin has more.
Former Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Albert Omore Magoha was pronounced dead at the Nairobi Hospital, and his body moved to the Leaf-In Row home, where shocked family, friends and colleagues gathered. A statement from the hospital announcing his sudden death stated that Professor Magoha collapsed at home and was rushed to the Nairobi Hospital's Accident and Emergency Unit. However, efforts to resuscitate him were futile. Professor Walter Mwanda, a friend to the family, says Magoha's spouse called him when the professor fell ill.
I was in a clinic at the Kenyatta National Hospital. I was seeing a patient, and I called a colleague to take over.
He drove towards the home. Then another call came from the wife.
She called again and asked me whether I had a blood pressure machine. I told her I would get one. I rushed back to my clinic, got a blood pressure machine. As I was about 4 kilometers to the home, she SMS and asked me whether I could get an ambulance.
Since he was close home and there was traffic, he went straight in.
I met some attendants who rushed me in. I met the son at the door who rushed me straight to where he was. He was seated actually. He greeted me and said, "Oh, you have come." Then I said to take the blood pressure. It was not recording. At that time, he slipped off from his sitting position.
They took him to the car and began driving to the Nairobi Hospital.
And we carried him to the car. From the information, he had what we call a collapse. He was resuscitated back by the son, who is a medical doctor. And then 100 meters to the casualty of the Nairobi Hospital, he collapsed again.
Mwanda said he collapsed a total 4 times.
He had a premonition and told his wife, I suppose, but he will get it from her, that his time had come, and he was happy, everything was done. He then asked the wife to call the son and also the daughter-in-law.
Mwanda describes Magoha as a firm person.
He was second to none in whatever responsibility he took, and he was given. He was very respectful to the authorities.
And even as the family comes to terms with the sudden loss, they were already dealing with the loss of Magoha's brother, who died in the United States last month.
He was making arrangements for the burial of his brother, whose body I think must have arrived today also from US. So over the last 6 weeks we have been communicating, but he's been extremely busy.
Chemutai Goin, Citizen TV.